In this video, actually, first of all, excited to have you here. In this video, we're going to look at how you can flavor your Mixbus. And it's going to be awesome to show you how I do it and how you can take your mixes to the next level. That's the point of this video. If you have any question, if you're watching live, let me know in the comments, and I'll see if I can jump between seeing what you guys are writing, what I am saying. Yeah, so we'll see how we get that going. I'm sure it's going to be awesome. Before we get into the video, if you're watching this later, I want to tell you about a free guide you can download right away. It's called 3 Tested Ways to Increase Your Client Base, which is a guide I made for home studio owners or freelancers or people who work in a recording studio. And in this guide, I teach you how to get clients online. I show you the email template I use to contact bands online. I also show you how you can find clients offline in real life, so to speak, and how to get clients coming back for more. So as a free guide, just enter your email address. The link is below in the description. Check it out, it's free, and I'm sure you're gonna like it. But let's get into the video here. As you can see, I have a session open here. This is one of my own tracks actually, that I wrote not too long ago. And obviously, you know, if you're starting out, if you don't have much of an experience mixing, the Mixbus process can be a bit tricky. So if you don't know how to do that, then this video might not be for you. But if you have mixed for some time, I'm sure you can pick up some cool tricks or tips that I use for your own mixes. Let me just explain this session really quick so you know what's happening. So using Pro Tools, all the tracks are going to a submix bus, which you can see the master fader is right here, the red track. And this is feeding an aux track because of how Pro Tools is set up. You know, a master bus, the photo is actually pre-insert, which is annoying. If you move the fader up and down, you're affecting the gain going into the plugins. That's the only reason I have an aux track, which then feeds the main mix bus, which also has a master fader, because yeah, you just have a master fader for the last signal going out. Normally, I wouldn't put these two plugins here. They're usually on the aux track, but that's just for the sake of this video. It's easier to have them there because I'm going to turn the other plugins on and off. So yeah, that's just for easiness of this video. So let's get into the music. Let me show you a piece of music, and then I can show you how I flavor my Mixbus, and we can take it from there essentially. So let's just listen to the track. There's a limiter now, L2, but that's just to increase the output. It doesn't do anything else than that, actually. So let me play you some of the music, and we'll get into the stuff. So here we go. Cool. I won't bore you with the rest of the track, but that synth that you just heard, hopefully you heard the music. That was my good friend Maxime, who laid down, he also played the bass on this track, and that kick-ass synth that made the whole track. But that's not the topic. So that's the music we're listening to. And let me show you my approach to my Mixbus and the plugins I have. So my first insert on the chain is the Slate Digital Fairchild copy. I'm using it in mid-side. And the only thing I'm doing here essentially is turning up the sides 1.5 dB. There's no compression or anything. Just turning up this left and right sides up dB and a half. Next up, we have the SSL bus compressor, famous. This is by the company Duend. I thought it was Duendo. But sorry, SSL's own plugins. And then we go to another Slate tape machine, which is just for color, and it adds some nice stuff to the mix. So that's the plugins I have. Then again, the limiter, and then I have this C4, but I'll tell you a trick with that later. That's just off usually. I don't use it for the final print of the mix. So let's listen to this piece of music again for a few bars. Then I turn off all these inserts and we see how it feels different. So here we go. Without. I mean, just playing, even though there was a longer break between the me playing you the music, there's still a huge difference in both how the mix sounds and how it feels. Hopefully you can hear that too through YouTube stream thing. But that's the, for lack of a better word, the magic you can add to your Mixbus. So let's go through the plugins one by one. Doesn't matter which plugin I'm using, it's more the concept. So what I'm looking to achieve with my Mixbus and the flavors, because that's the title of the video, the flavors I want to add with the Fairchild is this. So let's play without the Fairchild, and then I take the Fairchild back in. With. Without. Listen to the drums especially. That's where the magic, and the sides obviously. That's where I like this Fairchild, because it adds not only does it turn up the sides, it also adds brightness to the snare, and again the sides, because that's what I'm doing most too. But that's why I'm looking in this particular plugin, brightness and some more level on the sides to make it wider essentially. So that's what I'm using the Fairchild for. And listen to the snare drum specifically when I use it basically. Next up, I have the bus compressor, the SSL bus compressor, famous. I'm sure you have a plugin similar to this one in your DAW. And my approach to using a bus compressor is to make the track more danceable, so to speak. And this is well, I started looking at this plugin at the beginning of my mix. So my drums, especially kick drum, the first compression they get is this bus compressor with the bass. That's where you're going to see the bus compressor doing the most work, so to speak. And that's why I like to have its really slow attack, really fast release, because that gives me more punch in the mix. And it makes it feel more danceable. There's more rhythm, you know. That's why I like using a bus compressor. And it also filters some of the low end out. So let's check it out and pay attention to the low end of the track, the kick drum and the bass, and how the whole track moves. Yeah, let's check it out. First, without. Let's do with. Let's do one more time without. Pay attention to kick and bass. I mean, it's very subtle, um, but I hope you saw me turning it on and off here with the bypass button. So that's what I'm looking for, the to make it dance, to make it just be awesome. To be honest, that's it. So that's my approach to mix bus compression, like this one. Don't have to use this compressor. Use whichever ever compressor you have, as long as you know what you want to achieve first. So with me again, more punch, more danciness, so to speak. The last thing we have is the Slate tape machine. This just adds, for lack of a better word, I don't want to say magic, but it just adds awesomeness. You know, let's check the song again, with and without. So here is without. With. Without. With. Again, most of the stuff, or the more obvious stuff, is happening in the kick drum, snare drum to me. It just brings it a bit forward, which I really like with this plugin. Um, so that's actually my approach. Is super simple. I think I might have started to add an EQ these days, and I think I'm using. I'm always opening the wrong tube tech. But it should be this guy. That's the compressor, obviously. Choosing the wrong one. But yeah, I'm using the tube tech, pull tech copy, so to speak. I think this one is really good. I think I've started to add some high end with this guy, at 16, maybe 12. A really good plugin. But this is actually it. This is all I'm doing. So with the Fairchild, loudness on the sides, but also brightness, compressor from SSL, danceability, move, making the whole track move. The tape machine just adds awesomeness. Then you can add an EQ if you want. I haven't done that yet to this session. And then I want to show you this C4. So this is nothing I'll add. I won't print the mix using this plugin. This is just there. And this is a trick I learned from Sean Everett when he was on these waves. He did his waves tutorial thing. If you haven't checked it out, I can highly recommend checking out. It was awesome. And it was also a pleasure interviewing Sean last year. That interview is on Reverb. You can check it out if you want to. But that trick that Sean uses is he uses the C4 to basically solo certain frequency areas of his mix. He does it with all the frequency spectrum, all the various spectrums of the mix. I use the low end. I decide to only solo the low end because that's where I feel I struggle the most. So by being able to solo the low end and listen only to what's happening in the low end, you can easily tell if there are issues, for example. So when I did this mix, I didn't do this trick, but I can show you how it might sound. So let's use this actually before the limiter. So this is how you can check your low end or any area of your mix with the C4. So I will play you how it sounds. So what I'm looking to hear when I listen to only the low end is I want to be able to distinguish a track, first of all. I want to be able to hear the bass line properly, if possible. and the kick and the bass to have separation. You know, I want to be able to hear which song it is that is being played. It's like it's listening to a song being played at your neighbor's house. You want to still be able to tell which song it is. That's the that's whatever it's called. That's a sign of a good low end, and that your mix is going to translate better, in my experience. So that's what I use the C4 for. Essentially, it's a really good trick, and highly recommend that you do that. And again, you can solo just the mid range, for example. You can adjust it here to whatever area you want to listen to. Really, really good trick, and I can really recommend it. But that's how I flavor my mix bus, and hope that gave you some inspiration and how you can take the mix, your mix, to the next level. You know, adding some groove, adding some brightness, adding some more exciting mix because the sides have been turned up, and the tape machine is just there. You know, you can add whatever plugin you want, but you know, have a plan beforehand. Know what you want to do before you put that plugin on. But that's my process, and I hope I gave you some inspiration. And if you're watching this afterwards, feel free to leave a comment below if you have any struggles with your mix bus, or if you have any suggestions even, or how you approach your mix bus. Please let me know in the comments. And also, before you leave, don't forget to check out the free guide, 3 tested ways to increase your client base. And I made this guide for home studio owners or freelancers who want to increase their client base. And in this guide, you can learn my tested email script. You can learn how to get clients online, and how to get clients coming back for more. Is free. The link is in the description below. Check it out. And it was a pleasure talking to you guys. And I see you guys soon.